Well, hey there, friendships. Welcome back to Curtis Corner. If you're new here, hi, I'm Curtis. This is my corner, and this is Movie Monday, the series where I talk all things movie, whether it be interviews or movie reviews or just talking about movies in general. So if any and all of that interests you, you've come to the right place. Now, I have taken some time off of YouTube. I thought I'd give myself a little bit of a vacation, but I am back, I am ready, and we're going to go forward with this. So, we are going to be talking about the brand new film, The Strangers, Chapter 1. This is directed by Renny Harlin. It is a set trilogy that's supposed to come out. Chapter 2 is supposed to come later this year. Possibly beginning of next year for Chapter 3. If we're lucky, we'll get Chapter 3 at the end of the year. But chances are we're probably not seeing it until early winter of 2025. So, if you are interested in hearing my thoughts and my opinions on this film, you know what to do. Keep on watching. Before we jump into things, please make sure you like this video if you enjoy movie-related content, and hit that subscribe button for weekly videos, and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting a brand new video, because if you don't have us, you're going to know you won't, so do it. Also, in the description box below, there is a link to my Patreon for only $1 a month, $2 if you're Canadian. You get early access to all of my videos, you get unedited videos, you get the full thing, no smoke and mirrors allowed on Patreon, and you get creative control of what videos you want to see me put out on my channel. So if any and all that interests you, click that link, join Patreon, enjoy the friend zone over there, and I'll see you around. But let's jump into this review. So where to begin? Well, all I'm gonna say to start things off is no, Tamara's not here, and neither is anything new. Renny Harlin, like I mentioned, did take up the reins to direct this new installment of The Strangers, but brought nothing new to the table at all. He was very much just creating a beat-for-beat carbon copy of the 2008 original film. So much so that this basically became the new Psycho 1998, with minor tweaks and things here and there. Otherwise, beat for beat, frame by frame, essentially the exact same way the original plays out, this one also plays out as well. With that being said, the film isn't a terrible film. Yes, it does hit every single horror trope imaginable, with the jump scares, the loud sounds, the music that creeps in to be like, hey, this is scary, you should probably be feeling some scaredness going on right now. But at the same time, there is a bit of suspense. You do feel a little bit on edge, or on the edge of your seat, as everything kind of goes along. Not so much as you would in the first one. The first one is very much more of a slow burn. This one, I found, while the slow parts were very slow feeling, when things do start happening, they do continue to keep going. Madeline, for example, she was the highlight of the film. Her ability to show her acting range, which she couldn't really show in Riverdale, is great in this film. You can see her range of emotions, from going from scared to happy to terrified to just overtly emotional all through and through. She was by far the highlight of this film, and she is basically the star of this planned trilogy. Now, while Froy Gutierrez, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, wasn't terrible, his character as a whole, not great. Not only was both of these characters very thinly written, but basically there were like two attributes to each of these characters that basically made their personality. One was a vegetarian and one ate meat. That was the main part of their personality. And I didn't realize that that was a personality trait, to either eat food or to eat vegetarian food. Why are we making what people eat a personality trait? That doesn't make them interesting. But the choices that his character makes throughout the entirety of this film are very questionable. You wonder, why are you doing this? There's moments where you just want to yell at the screen because of the choices he makes, or even at like the plot that surrounds his character. Like there's this one time where his character has a physical hindrance with him, and in order to overcome this, by chance, just by chance where he is, he manages to find an object that helps him with the physical hindrance that he has in order to continue on. And that doesn't actually work in real life. And I know that because I actually researched it before making this statement. If there's anyone who knows what I'm talking about, because all I'm going to say, it involves a water bottle. So if you've seen the film and you know what I'm talking about, explain if it actually does work. I would love to know if you have this physical hindrance and you've tried this. Because to me, it doesn't work. Then we come to the strangers themselves. While a great reimagining of them, they don't work. They don't work. They're not scary. I found in the original and even Pray at Night, they were frightening. They came with like an aggression, but a slow aggression. And it always built up to the antithesis of what they are going for. This one, these three just seemed very erratic. They were constantly running around. They were fast moving. They were barely going after anybody slowly. And the suspense that you would get from the original, where it's all silent and just constant creeping around, just the slow moving and the listening for the sounds. They try and do that here, but it's always muddled over with sounds and telling you when you should be scared. Like, the audience is very dumb. Trust in your audience. Trust your audience. That's all you have to do. The original three were very methodical when they were hunting and teasing and taunting their prey. These ones in this film don't do that. They just go after them and basically frighten them for a couple seconds and then leave. Speaking of the original, there are a ton of callbacks from the first two films that are in this, little Easter eggs and stuff that made it be like, hey, you remember these films? Well, we're doing it too. But that's all it kind of seemed to come across as, is like, yeah, we're also doing this. It's also very much up in the air as to, is this a reboot or is this a prequel? Is this what's happening, like this trilogy? Is this trilogy happening before the 2008 film? Or is this modern day times and we're just ignoring the last two films that came out and we're just doing our own thing now? No one has given a very specific answer. It's always been kind of here or there and constantly changing. And so with the rehashing, all it does is just, it's just callbacks. That's all it is. It doesn't show or hold any merit to it. It doesn't create a more intense or suspenseful atmosphere. It's trying to do what the original did, just without suspense. And it just has more of a louder atmosphere, if you'll understand when you see it. And with the ending, I'm not going to spoil what the ending is, but there's a very obvious kind of cut that happens to add in a scene. And I did not like that. I didn't like it at all. I found it was very disjointed from the rest of the film. It didn't belong. It felt out of place. And I found the original ending of the original film was perfect, where it left it open in that time to spawn more if people wanted to. And that was always the plan. This didn't do that. It was like, here's almost the ending that we got in the original, and then it just cuts to something else. And then just having this scene be so disjointed from everything else, and then continuing it on in the mid-credits also didn't really make sense, because what should have happened was they should have gone with the original ending that was in the first film, cut it there, end it, roll the credits, and then have the mid-credit scene as being what your mid-credit scene was, but also that jump scene that seemed out of place before the credits started rolling. Have it as a combined extended bonus scene. That would have made it feel and set up to chapter 2 way better than what you actually did in the film. So with all of that being said, The Strangers, chapter 1 gets a C. Like I said, not awful, definitely not great. If this is your first Strangers film that you're ever seeing, chances are you're probably going to like it if you also enjoy every horror trope thrown into a movie at once. But if you are a fan of the original, if you're a fan of Pray at Night, you're probably not going to enjoy this movie. And if you do, you're probably not just going to enjoy it as much as you probably would have liked to enjoy it. So, hopefully you enjoyed my review. If you did, please make sure you give this a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for weekly videos and hit that notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video, because if you don't, how else are you gonna know? You won't, so do it. I will see everybody next week for another Movie Monday. But until then, goodbye, friendships.